one of the things that I found out after doing a bit more research on the university in Kent Union is that the Vice-Chancellor is paid 33 times that amount of the lowest paid worker here at Kent. Her average hourly salary, if you work it out, is £153 an hour. Now you compare that to someone on a minimum wage, which is most student staff, it's £5.13 an hour. These are income inequalities that aren't right, and sometimes someone has to make a bit of noise. I did. And that's, this is a start. We feel that, myself and Catherine, the other petition organiser, feel that if a member of staff is essentially working the shop, the library, cafe, Woodies, the venue, they're generating money for Kent Union. This is, without the student staff and good student staff, the Kent Union wouldn't have the funds it needs to be able to put on sports, student media, buy all the equipment that we have, and so on and so forth. So it's only fair they get fairly recompensated for it. They should get a fair wage. And with the cost of living going up, student house prices reaching almost £100 a week in some places, the student basic loan is not enough anymore. I mean, my loan doesn't cover my rent, and I don't get the maintenance allowance at the moment, so I have to work 3 jobs.
In this KTV News documentary special, not only will I be talking to both parties involved, I will also be talking to the students of UKC to see how they weigh in on the cost of living.
COCOSA praised the union for the benefits it provides staff, which include a free NUS card, its investors in Gold People status and NUS quality mark. However, he believes with the cost of living on the rise and students from more diverse backgrounds coming to university, the union should pay the living wage.
You talked about the fact that you work 3 jobs. Has that had an impact on your degree?
Oh, massively. Yeah, it has a lot. I mean, I don't really focus on my degree at the moment because I have all these worries at the back of my mind. And I know it's not just me, it's common among quite a few people. I sort of struggle to wonder where I'm going to get my next week's food shopping money from. And I have to continually work out how many hours a week I'm working, because the other thing is it's not guaranteed work. So some of them could be 6 hours one week, 4 hours another week, 10 hours one week, and then 12 hours. So I have to work. I've budgeted 15 hours a week, and sometimes it goes up and down, so it makes a massive difference. If Kent Union paid the living wage, and not just Kent Union, the university as well, if both of these bodies paid the living wage, which is £7.85 an hour, then perhaps a lot of students like myself would be able to focus on the primary reason we come to university, which is to get a degree.
Should Kent Union pay its employees the living wage?
Yes, of course, because obviously there's a whole minimum wage thing, but minimum wage isn't enough to keep you going, especially in this university environment where costs are a bit of a madness sometimes.
I really think that it should, because being a student as well, with the amount of time people put into their work and hours, I'll spend about 12 to 14 hours a day just working on my degree stuff, and when we do get the opportunity to be able to get some paid work, I really think it's important that we get enough money to not only just the living wage, but also to be able to survive us for other costs, such as we've got book costs, we've got just general maintenance, and it's very few students I know would actually be spending the money on going out. I think that general feeling that people think that's what students are spending their money on, but really that's not the case.
Poverty is a difficult concept to define. You can be poor, but at the same time have a bit of money. It's about disposable income. I don't really have a lot of disposable income because I have no financial support from my parents as a mature student, and so it's actually quite common between a lot of people. So I have to work. I think you can be in poverty. There's times of Christmas in particular. I mean, there was a week before Christmas. I had no food. I was at the stage where I was quite happy to go to a food bank, and it's not just me. There's been quite a few people, and I think that's worrying. When you can't, the university couldn't help me out. They couldn't offer me a loan or anything. They couldn't offer any grants. So the last thing I had to do was just borrow some food off someone else. That's not acceptable anymore. I don't want to do that. I feel horrible, and I'm sure it's common throughout people that do experience poverty. So yes, students can be poor. The basic loan, if you're living in accommodation on campus, it's £110 a week, which is more than the basic loan.
But what is the living wage? The living wage is set by the Living Wage Foundation. Employees volunteer to pay rates set by the foundation to its employees. This is an hourly rate of £7.85, rather than the minimum wage of £6.50. The foundation believes that this scheme can be one of the solutions to poverty.
After we saw the petition, we invited Dave in to ask him if he'd like to come and speak to us about it, and we talked him through the financial implications of introducing the living wage and sort of Kent Union's position. If we were to implement the living wage now for our student staff, it would cost us around, if not more, £110,000 a year. Which is money that we don't really have. At the end of the day, Kent Union is a charity, and we are funded by the activities we run, such as the shop and the venue and Woodies. But our main priority with it is to provide activities and services to the Advice Centre for our students. The real difficulty is that whilst we would love to be able to offer more, we're in a position where if we were to offer the living wage to our students, it would mean that we'd have to cut it from other services that we provide, meaning that we wouldn't be able to offer our sports and societies that we currently offer. We wouldn't be able to fund our advice centre, which are our main purposes, the main reasons why we exist as a union.
It is no secret that students struggle financially. An investigation by Enquire revealed that the majority of students who took part in their online survey pay more than £500 per month on living expenses. The paper claims that to maintain a student lifestyle after loans run out, students would need to work for 24 hours a week if under 21 years of age.
The University Living Costs report produced by Kent Union in 2014 revealed that 41% of students have a part-time job and 43% of students are supported by family or friends. The report also stated that 57% regularly worry about not having enough money to cover basic living expenses. Do you cut back on things at uni? So money-wise?
Yes, definitely. I definitely cut back. I usually go into my overdraft.
Yeah, you got to. Yeah, you can't really go out and spend loads of money on clothes and stuff. Like, you got to put on food and going out and things like that. So yeah, you can't just waste money and stuff. So yeah. I think it's important we do pay more money.
So I have one more question for you. If there is a student sitting at home right now, watching this, who thinks, I don't have a voice, I'm in all this mess, what would you say to them?
Do it. Because the world can't change when one person does things. It needs a group of people. And you may feel like you don't have a voice, and I did when I first came to Kent. I was lost. My first year here, I'm not going to lie to you, I had severe cases of depression through, coming into an environment that I didn't feel comfortable in. It was just a bit disorientating. Then I found my voice, and I think you can find yours if you just be active and get motivated. The university is not going to hurt you by doing this. You have a right of freedom of expression here on campus. So we've seen a lot of political activism recently, and politics is something that you should do, not have done to you, because it's all around us. The people in the Vice-Chancellor's office, the Vice-Chancellor herself, has an incredible amount of influence nationally. So it's only fair that we should stand up and tell her what we think is right and wrong. The same with the union president, same with everyone here in these institutions. These are policymakers and people that do quite important things. So we should stand up for what we feel is right. We should always tackle and question everything. So if you're at home and you want to get involved, just do something. Make a petition, start a campaign of some sort. Excuse me, sorry. Just try. Some people who disagree with you, that's fine. You have to take it on the chin. But there's no harm in just trying to do something.